send it out to the Facebooks, the Facebook, and we will monitor that. Let's pull up the chat. Alright, welcome back. We're doing some late stuff. We are still out an actual mic, so we have to go with this contraption. It's the shotgun mic from my camera. We don't have lapel or lavalier microphone, so we're using a shotgun mic to do what we can. First, on the board, we need some trusty black mats. I know one of them isn't black. I should really change that, right? Actually, I think if we space them out, may be a bit more adequate. We have an HP 24G 112. We will take a moment and open this up. And this is one of those. Yeah, just get. I don't need what's on there. Get rid of it. And it was time to take a break from the other stuff that I was doing. Looking at monitors. Building a computer virtually online is a task. I love building it with the parts, but the online aspect is just, I don't know. Virtual stuff is not quite as good as the real thing. So what did I call this? An HP 24G122, not G112. HP 24G122, all in one PC. You'll have two screws on the bottom holding your foot on. Once you get that out of your way, you'll have one further screw here down in. I always like to try to show this, so we'll take a moment and get our Sony over here. Did it not pull my camera up? Alright, so apparently, give me a moment, I have to restart the one cam link, plug it, or unplug it, plug it back in. Yeah, so we'll disable it. Okay, good enough. Now let's see if we can manage. Okay, so there's your third screw out. You do the two for your feet. You'll want to take this one here out. If memory serves me correctly, and it does that less and less with each passing year, when you pop these open, I generally started on the sides, then the top, and then it's going to hinge open from the top. Like the two bottoms will come apart, and you can lay it down that way. But you do need to get in there, get something, get in there. Don't worry about your optical drive. The way this splits in two, the optical drive is going to go with the back half, and then you'll have the screen and some of the stuff with the front. You may need a wedge, and which way it pops I can't quite remember right now. It's been a little while since I've seen one of these. careful going in with any tool toward your screen. You don't want to slip into that. We finally got it cracked loose on one corner, and we don't want to lose that progress. Alright, now that we have that started, we're going to work ourselves around the edge and find out. So this one was, yeah, we don't need anything on it. Let's get rid of it. We need the old account off, the new account's on. They don't remember the password, it's an online account, and that's simple. But if my minuscule bit of experience has taught me anything, that is that I don't need it, we don't need it. It doesn't always prove to be true. So we're going to open this up. We don't have a password to get in. We're going to open it up and get the hard drive out and do a proper backup on, and do another thing for a friend while we're working on this. So yeah, a much needed break. This is my break from working on other stuff. After you get around the one corner, you can kind of see where it starts to pop apart on this corner, and possibly get something thin to get in there and start popping it apart at each place where your tool stops. You'll come to a tab where it wants to let it start opening up. Careful over in the area of your SD card and power button. When prying there, you don't want to break anything there. You still do want to at least get the thing to open. We're going to work on this other side, which will in turn let this other bottom corner come out. And the action that I'm using is get in the crack, slightly insert the tool, slide it down, and when it comes to a tight spot, just give a little pry forward, not too hard. You don't want to dig into the plastic and break your touch screen. If you have a touch model, I'm not sure that all of these were touch screens. Alright, and there we have it. We can start. This is going to be lots of fun. We're going to lay it down. Let's switch over. Wait a minute, I didn't hit the, that's what I wanted. I hit the curtain. Okay, so here's what I was saying. Again, when it opens up, it's going to hinge open on the top, but sadly we have to maintain this and pop some of this top part loose. So let's get our tool and hold the other side open while working along the top. There shouldn't be any super hard prying, and you can kind of see where the little tabs are that lock it in. You shouldn't have to pry super hard at all in order to open one of these up. And just slight little prying motion and it should pop open. Alright, sorry for smacking the mic, it's not wireless, it's not wireless anymore. Here we go, we're going to go ahead and open this thing up and let it lay down, and then we'll take a look at the actual computer. Let's readjust the Sony. So there's not very much to one of these. You basically have your hard drive, your little, that's gotta be a custom mini ITX sized motherboard with your cooler, and the exhaust for it blows out. Then also your optical drive is up in this direction, and then you have a circuit board there for your power button and your SD card, and then your whole hinge assembly. So there's really not much to one of these. We're interested in hard drive. And what is locking this thing in? So Phillips, and then it slides, is that correct? Alright, so in the one corner you'll find yourself a Phillips screw. Take that out, don't forget your SATA, data and power, and then slide it out. And fiddle with it for a bit. Pick it up, don't try and pry it up, you're not getting it. We got to remove this from the dock, get a backup going, move this out of the way and continue on. Sadly, it's a 3.5 inch. We can't use our SATA to USB 3 adapter. So we have to take time, remove it, and to not have to trust the memory, we're going to take a few lines, put some marks on our metal. I guess we should use black, but silver will work on silver. See, our SATA to USB 3 is not going to work. We're going to have to plug this into the toaster. They don't want the data, they don't want the account, they want a new account, but taking a moment, if your hard drive is working, to back it up, or a few moments, whatever it takes, is far better than the length of time it's going to take when you have to scan that hard drive that was formatted to do the new install of Windows, to wipe out the account and everything. So yeah, take those few moments and just get your data. Give me a moment, we'll throw this on the All-in Wonder. So we want Windows D. We're going to go with D Windows instead of D Windows Old. Get that user account, make a folder on our backup drive. Set it there next. Next. Do what you do, Magic Toaster. Do what you do. We'll keep this out. Find a place to transport you to for now. Good there. And this one I think we can get away with one trusty black mat for the time being. Sorry about the motion sickness. So we've got a friend's laptop here. He had two of them. One is pretty much toast. It got stepped on. Some other issues arose from that broken screen being stepped on. It will not stay running just with PC RAM and sitting. It's like it's powering down or something's heating up. Who knows? Needs further diagnosis. A backup was ran on this drive, but now we have another purpose here. We happen to have a stick of RAM. It doesn't match as far as the 4, it's a 2, but this is 4 gigs of DDR3 low voltage PC3L. What is that, 12,000? No, it's 10,600S. The timings are very close, as in 9, 10, and then the something Z and another something Z on the other one. So we're gonna take it from 4 gigs up to 8 gigs. It'll do a little better than just the 4 for Windows 10. The backup was done. We're gonna pull the drive out, format it, and then just do a clean 10 install. We could do that in the computer if we can get it to boot. From what I saw of the BIOS of this, it has a password, so I don't know that we can make any changes. So in an effort to save some time, we're going to pull the drive, plug it in, and format it that way with disk management in Windows. Oh, did we ever do something like that? Simple process, but let's do it. This is also an HP ProBook 4430S, I believe. Pull this out. Take a look. Yes, so ProBook 4430S. It has a 2nd gen Core i5 2510M mobile chipset, 4 gigs of DDR3, PC3 DDR3 low voltage. I don't know what Intel card. While we are at it, let's see if we can't pull this. We'll put some new thermal compound on. Do some new thermal compound. Try and clean out the fan while we're here. We're waiting for data to back up. Which it's done. Okay. this fan separate? That would be amazing if it was. And we're going to go as good as a brush will get us. This fan has the typical welded together with little plastic welds versus having screws going through. Now, with enough care and patience, you know what? Let's modify this thing if we can. Let's go grab a fan. Okay, here's the plan. We're going to take a look at modifying this fan to be cleaned out for future use for either my friend, or if he gets rid of this thing, the future owner. We're going to try and do something a little different because I keep forgetting no wireless mic. We're going to try and do something a little different because having a fan that can be cleaned out, even though you can get in there with a brush, just getting in there and actually being able to clean everything seems a little better. We're going to try and do one better and take a look there. What does that look like? You can see part of the heatsink. The rest is oh, I zoomed in too far. Give me a moment. Can't focus. There we go. So yeah. Look at that. That is jammed up solid, so not much air, heat escaping. We'll extend the life of it a little. We're going to clean it out, do it proper. Give me a moment. I don't have a wireless lav mic anymore. Okay, so we have nothing in our immediate vicinity, but we do have this. We have this unit here out of our scrap pile, and we have some tiny screws. I foresee one massive problem with these little screws. Is that we're probably not going to have a bit small enough to drill a hole where they will grab. But nonetheless, we're going to pull the screws out and see if we have a drill bit that will fit. A very common problem. Now explain to me, please. Explain to me how, when this is together, okay, that's together, fan blades in the way, you have a big jammed up pile of gunk right along here. How is blowing that big wad of hair and lint, blowing it in, going to get it out? Is possibly going to stick the fan in place? Yeah, it may ball it up and push it off into a corner, but if the fan hits it, it could stop and burn the fan up. Or it's just going to blow. As soon as you power on, it may blow it back out, and the whole thing won't be clogged, but part of it will. Simply blowing in is not a solution. I've always said that. It's never a good solution. And look at that. You can take that off. So this isn't in this computer, but the computer we're working on is the same way. Yeah, I'm thinking a 16th is much too big. We would need to find some smaller screws, or bigger screws. Let's go to 16th, we go to 32nd. That would be amazing. No. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we get tiny holes for our tiny screws without a bit? Without a bit big enough, how do we get the tiny holes? If only that would work. Oh, I see it. I'm just not a believer yet. Alright, those are 3 of the same size. So we have 3 of the same size. We need to find one more to match up. Alright, we've got 4 tiny Phillips laptop screws. It's going to be a finer thread rather than a coarse thread, so any hole that we make will potentially strip out very easy. We've got a scrap fan here to practice on. We're going to pop a hole in here with a 1/16 bit and see if one of our screws will thread into it. If it does, success. And we're going to modify this fan to be able to be torn apart, but we're going to practice on our junk fan first. Anywhere will do. Alright, let's try these tiny screws. I know it's not going to work, but no way, get out of town. Alright, we're going full on stupid on this one. We ready? It is the right side, the side that we want to clean. Alright, so we've cut one loose. Let's get some more focus. Get digital zoom. Two. Three. And what is next? Looks good. Alright, so now with those cut loose, our fan will come apart. We're going to go ahead and trim off one of them and start a hole for a screw. Then just trimming off the remaining plastic peg that was there. And then we'll go one step further and hopefully not break this thing. We're going to take our auto punch and set a hole. And if you've ever heard me talking about it, you can cut those loose, and if you keep track of the little tabs, you can either glue it, which ain't great, or melt them back onto the tops, which isn't great. And some stuff, the plastic is actually thick enough where you can make a hole and attach a screw. So let's center punch this with our auto punch. Alright, we have our mark to go by. Never gonna focus. Sony, what are you doing? So right there's our mark. We need let's see, I was thinking about this. I think I know how we can do it. Without a drill bit that small at least. We're going to need the help of evidently something that I've lost. Alright, so here's the plan. We're going to try and use heat. First we're going to modify this thing. Don't play with fire. Sometimes you have to. Alright, what we're actually doing is making so our tweezers can grab this. This is just a straight pin. And the whole thing fell apart and melted. Nothing like screwing it all up. Alright, we got it somewhat back together. We're going to take a moment, find something to wrap around there. Ethernet wire would do, shrink wrap. Wire tie. Basically we just want to hold that pin in place. Alright, we have our heat shrink holding everything together. A little bit of grip on it. Squeezing back here should prevent it from sliding backwards. It's just a cheap straight pin. You get a multi-pack of them. We're going to try and heat it up and sink a small hole into where we did the center punch on our fan. The reason being, the smallest bit we have is 1/16 right now, and this is a little less than half the size of our 1/16 real bit, so this is probably close, smaller than, but close to 1/32. I don't know what the next one would be. I'm not good at reducing fractions. Or 60. Forget it. We're not doing math. This ain't the math channel. We're gonna try and use heat to melt a hole. I don't believe we got too far in on that one. The pin cooled down, but one more should get us to where we need to be for the depth of our tiny screws. Melted plastic cut out of the way. Just try and get a feel or a gauge on the depth. Not far enough. Come on, lighter, don't blow up on me. My heat gun will not heat this up, and I don't have a torch. Alright, as dumb as that might sound, we're going to try the drill bit for the top of the hole. Alright, no more fire. No more fire. We're doing it somewhat more proper. Alright, so we're going to switch over to these silver screws instead of the tiny black ones. They will thread into that hole. It's going to be hard to see. Let's back that out. So we did manage to get the bigger of the set of screws to thread in nice to a 1/16 inch hole. It will have grip to keep the cover on the fan. So I say we can go with that. Abandoning the fire plan, which is never fun playing with fire. I guess unless you're a person that likes fire, I don't. We still have two diagonal corners of the plastic peg to hold our lid on. And then we have a screw hole. We're going to do that and then put still 2 of those plastic pegs from where we cut them off to hold that. We have the 1 screw in. We're going to center punch this and then drill the hole and get our second one in. And then when we can mount it and keep this cover plate for the fan on, we'll mark the other 2. Alright, very well. And there you have it, all that ridiculous stuff just to make a fan that you can pull the plate or the cover off of it to clean it out. We're going to thread these in. We're going to get these screws threaded in to the plastic, and then we'll tear it back apart. Give it a good cleaning. And check our fitment. That was the only worrisome thing. That the few times that I've done this, 2 handfuls, you know, maybe 10, 12, I don't know, I've never counted doing stuff like this, was the size of the screw head. Sometimes in some laptops you're working with a tight clearance, and when you effectively double the size of your screw from with the thickness of the head on the screw and how big around it is, you may start running into other stuff. They do, as you can see, they do stick up just a little bit. Compared to those tiny things. So yeah, about double the size. But now we have a fan that we can pull apart. A future person can pull it apart. One thing about going from a, even in plastic, even if it's a coarse thread screw or a fine thread like a machine, versus something more comparable to, say, like a drywall screw with coarse threads, or something with a fine thread like a gun screw, or just something real fine threads close together. When screwing into plastic, they will strip easy. So and We actually got two types of screws, two with a bigger Phillips head, two with a smaller. We're going to look for two more to match, so a normal screwdriver can take them out instead of the fine one, the fine 000 Phillips. Even though that's fairly common, I'm going to switch it over so the same screwdriver works for all 4 screws. Or we'll switch over to PH 000 Phillips 3 or 000. There's one. Alright, we got 2 in the same go. We'll check them. They're silver instead of galvanized. See, no dice. We need the finer Phillips bit. Getting rid of those 2. And going for the bigger one. Still the same threads, the same shank on the screw, just a little bit bigger where your driver grabs it. Alright, threaded in, held down. One screwdriver operates all 4 screws. I'm going to call that good to go. Let's clean this fan and continue. We got to do the thermal paste on the laptop, clean out the actual heat sink from that carpet that's grown in there, and then move back to our all-in-one. Truth be told, this wasn't that dirty, but this is dirty enough to have clogged up that heat sink completely, so it is what it is. We're gonna make the best out of cleaning it off with a brush. This is where an air compressor would pay off. Blowing just the fan off when it's out of the unit. There's urban legends miss both ways, to spin and let the fan spin, or don't spin the fan backwards with air, or hold it steady. I'm not sure which one is true, so I always try and hold it steady and hit it with a brush. What time is it? Yes, it's after 12, so we're definitely not going to fire up any air compressor and disturb any people. Neighbors don't want to hear that this late at night. Not at all. Slightly cleaner. You are. Okay, now for this piece. Let's take a closer look at that. So here's the whole heat sink. You got the heat spreader, the heat pipe, the fins, and that is fairly jammed up. You should be able to see through and see something. Which undoubtedly you can see part of the phone going through there, but I'm betting once we clean that out we should be able to read the clock on my phone. Let's go ahead and do that and drop it and bend all the aluminum together so it never works again. Check. We've got that part down just about perfect. So we're just going to lightly push our fins up through here, or our broom, the bristles of the broom, we're going to push them through. It does have a split fin inside, and they come together on the outside configuration. Got a good chunk of that out. The rest is just going to have to be brushed loose. Could have just did that to begin with, but I wanted to get as much out of here as possible by pushing the bristles of the broom through. That gets dusty. Alright, so let's see. Can we light this up and see more of the clock? Okay, so maybe we can kind of read it. We can kind of read it. But much cleaner. Oh, yeah, maybe if we turn it, I was actually holding it like that. Maybe if we turn it parallel, we'll be able to see through there much better. Yes, much cleaner. Okay, not a test, not scientific, not proven, not tried and true, not even gimmicky at best, or on the worst day. There you go. There's your clogged up hair and lint. That's what we pulled out, and a lot more that we brushed loose. Clean that up and go for the rebuild. Install Windows and move back to the all-in-one. Out of chocolate, or out of hot chocolate. We're gonna have to break into the shake. And let's not forget our CPU. This stuff isn't completely dry, but it's not coming off like a grease, it's coming off in clumps, which is, to me, I'm not going to say to the industry or anybody else, but to me that is a dead, if it comes off in clumps, dead giveaway that it's time to change it. It goes on like thick grease, like thick like toothpaste, maybe thicker, maybe thinner, depending on the brand. We'll set you out of our way as well as you. It's not going to make sense to get a Q-tip and go around that. Possibly. Should we? What do we say? Let's try it. Let's do a little bit and see. Curiosity. Boredom, wanting this to be clean for either my friend or the next owner, so we'll get some of the dirt out. The bristle brim didn't do the best job. Air compressor isn't available at the moment, so we're going to go for what we got. And this be it. Q-tips and IPA. Or was that? That's the alcohol bottle. Sorry. Q-tips and alcohol. That was dumb. I didn't keep track of where I've cleaned and the fan just spun, so let's do it again. I'm going to say that's good. We went the whole way around, it appears. Any little bit of straggling stuff remaining. And to aid, we're going to use our blue thread locker for attaching our screws to our newly converted fan that was just like plastic welded, a couple pins plastic welded together. We're going to use blue thread lock to lock our screws into the plastic. Any little bit will help. We didn't drill out a smaller hole and use a proper tap and die. We just screwed screws into plastic, which some would say is good enough, but is it really? Boy, we have some problems there. Doesn't want to go in. Let's set it down and try it. Alright, much better. Let's put a little more on there. I don't know how much this will or will not help. But instead of just the liquidy water, we're actually getting the thicker stuff on. Alright, if you do something like that, mod, I would say go ahead and crank those screws arm tight with all your gusto. No, just finger tight, barely. Lightly finger tight. Do not strip out your plastic. Alright, I'll put some of these tools back, as we're not going to need much for the reassembly. Possibly you. Phillips will take the big one. This one. One, two, three. Where is number 4? Right there, okay. Good enough. And trusty black mat. Get some thermal compound. Back ourselves up from the whole situation for a moment. See 2 little specks there. What are you doing? We didn't bend it that bad. There's part that does not want to go back in. There it goes. Okay. We've got but the one screw that came out of the fan. I want to say that there was one more kind of by this power switch, but there's absolutely nowhere. There's a hole, just nowhere for it to attach. So we've got the one, and that is it. I guess that's going to have to be enough. Alright, we've got our RAM in. Let's format our drive quick. Get this back together and get these jobs done and go home. We need the Seagate cable, it's longer. It's a 320 gigabyte drive. Who makes it? Hitachi. scan disks. Alright, 320 gigabyte drive, formatted, not formatted, just all the partitions wiped out. The stuff you can't see in the Windows disk management. I use O&O partition, I don't even know what it's called. O&O Partition Manager. It's a very old program, but a good program nonetheless. And we're also going to see if we can get into the BIOS and make changes. I just know the first boot, testing things out, went in and it asked if I wanted to log into F10 system settings as a guest. I clicked yes. I didn't, never been greeted by that before. Fans plugged in, DC jack, RAM, hard drive. Battery. All the feet are missing off this guy except one, sadly. But we don't have anything to replace those. Oh, not good, my friend. Not good. You've got I don't even know how, other than replacing the USB port. You're missing the whole the little tab that goes up top is broke out of there, and it's very hard. I think some of the pins are indeed bent down. You can't get anything to plug into that port. I don't want to force it and bend the pins further. Did they really put a USB 3 port in there upside down? I have to wonder. Because that port's right side up. In no way, no how does this even want to begin to plug in. but it will plug in nicely. Going with the shape of the pins, I'm going to say it's upside down, but I'm not going to trust that. We're not shorting out a drive just cause. Let's see what we have. Escape key. Audible alerts disabled. Press F5 to enable. Okay, so somebody is going to have to unlock this BIOS. Yeah, I was thinking it's not happening. Gonna ask me for a password, of course it is. Alright, so we can't get into the BIOS. Perhaps the owner can remember his password. We're going to boot device options, and we can't access them because of the BIOS being locked. All it needs is a boot device, right? Come on, computer, wake up. Come back to life. Shut down. Shut down anyway. Did we not tell you to shut down? Shut down. Shut down anyway. Wow. So this thing cannot shut down. We're going to borrow the SATA data and SATA power cable from this tower here. It is not the same generation, but it is similar. We covered this one other time. However, this may fail miserably as well as it did the other time, because we can't access the BIOS settings of this particular laptop, and I think it's really asking us for it's asking us for, I don't know if it wants UEFI or MBR, so that's going to be F12, boot menu. Alright, we got it. We got the install going. We're doing some real crazy hacky stuff right now. We're not going to even attempt to run it out to Streamlabs, but for right now we are running the Windows setup with the hard drive plugged into another computer. First reboot, we're powering down, pulling it, and letting it finish in the HP. At that point, the BIOS should see that there's an operating system to boot to, pull the drive up, and then attempt to finish the install. Not the way to do it, but without getting a password, you don't have much choice. Don't even know if it's going to work. Okay, so we have that. Let's get our tools out of the way. Screws for the hard drive. Those. Get some trusty mats. Keep an eye on our install. We're going to get our all-in-one back over here, hard drive, install it back in it, and get this job wrapped up for this morning. So we know this went that way. We had to push it out, and our hard drive had marks. We're going to line them back up. And make an attempt at putting this back together. We are 36% of the way done on installing Windows 10 on just getting the base install. It's not even going to reboot and finish setup. It literally gets to copying Windows files, getting files ready for installation, the percentage, installing features, installing updates, finishing up, and then it will reboot. And at that point we're going to power down this tower, put it back in to the ProBook, and pray. Hope anything. Set you where you belong. There you are. Alright, that drive is installed. Doesn't get us much further, but it gets us over here a little. We need to install our SATA data and power, all one connector, thankfully, and the sandwich that is this computer can start going back together. Best method I've found. Line it up, set it down, and start pressing. You do have a gap there. As well as one along the top. That is actually where the air is vented out is through that space there. It's not the focus, is it? There, yeah, it comes out of that area. Alright, back together. %. $78, so it's getting up to where it's going to rip through and do the reboot. Alright, that screw went back in. The foot is keyed. You have a rounded part with a straight edge. Nothing keyed right here, but the shape of this is keyed. Something just to take note of, unless you want to fight on your hands. That's always fun. %, on our ProBook install. We don't want the all-in-one blocking our microphone, so we're going to set it there and start getting it hooked up while we wait for this to finish. 98. Something with my elbow. Hopefully there's no BIOS password on this. That would be just doomed. Doomed all the way around. It is starting up. Escape key for startup menu. Keyboard error. Restarting. This is the point at which we want to click restart and power down our system. Claim our hard drive back. Reconnect the hard drive for the system that we borrowed. Power you back up and await your password from your user. What a nightmare. We're back to the ProBook. If we can get this going and set it out of the way, that would be great. Hopefully this microphone doesn't sound bad either. I've recorded a video or so, but I haven't really checked the I've recorded every video, and I kind of just listened for a moment or two, but I just hope it doesn't have any issues like it shorts out every once in a while or something. I haven't went too in depth with listening to what was going on. it actually come off with the battery in? It does. That's pretty neat. Alright, we had our Windows setup running. Now we're going to see what will continue or not. Powered on HP, yeah. I think we're going to need the password to get into the BIOS. Let's hit escape. Boot device not found. Okay, so if it was installed as it's a GPT disk and it was installed as UEFI, we need to actually make it MBR and install that way, which means the system we're doing it on, we need to set the BIOS as MBR or legacy, and then this may detect the hard drive. I'm guessing it wasn't set up, even though it's a 2nd gen Intel, it should be compatible. F2, system diagnostics, escape key, yeah, it's not going to detect it one bit. F10, log in as a guest. It didn't even work. Nice. Yep, so it's not even going through the BIOS right now. Can we do MBR in this thing? How much of a nightmare will it be? Ah, well, we will. We'll check back with this thing at a later date. Possibly if we get this done. For right now, let's get a keyboard and a mouse and see what the situation is with the all-in-one. We're going to run the install through and check out of here for the morning. Do we have USB ports? No, they're all in the back. One of the bad things about some of the HP's USB ports are in the back. Although they do have USB 3, so do the Dells, but you'll find them on the side and off in the back on the Dells, but not always. Don't hold your breath. Keyboard, mouse firmly attached. And our install media. Where's the button? Please BIOS don't be locked. That's not what we're looking for. Alright. We have access to the BIOS SATA. Escape back. That's the hard disk that we want. Enter is escape back. Storage options. AHCI. Escape. Everything seems to be set properly to, let's change our boot order, UEFI boot sources. We want our USB hard drive. We're going to drag it to the top of the list, and then F10 accepts those changes. This is a goofy BIOS, HP. Come on now. Device security is available. USB enabled. Slot security. M.2 card slot enabled, so there is an M.2 slot in there. Network boot. Disabled. We're going to F10 accept that. That's useless for us. A neat feature, but useless for this environment. Virtualization tech will enable you. F10 accepts. Secure boot. F10 accept to continue. Legacy support disabled. Secure boot enabled. Fast boot enabled. Key ownership HP keys. Clear security. Don't clear. Escape is cancel. Power is good. Advanced. Five. Local hard drive. F10 accept. Save changes and exit, yes. And hopefully this boots our Windows installer. Please. Do we have HDMI out? That would be amazing. Press escape key for startup menu. F9, boot device options, SanDisk, do it. And we're booting our installer. It just says HDMI, it doesn't say whether it's out or in. We know well enough that an all-in-one is not going to send our picture out to Streamlabs, so we're going to go with it how we have to, like this. If this wasn't such a pain, even though it has a goofy BIOS, we could go in and set it, disable secure boot, enable the legacy ROMs, or legacy for the MBR or CSM, do our Windows setup, and then pull the drive and put it in. But it's a nightmare to open, so we're not going to do it that way. I think I still have an Optiplex around here somewhere. They're quick to tear down, no tools, and quick in the BIOS. It's probably going to be the solution. Good golly, soda at this hour. How bad is this idea? Space, enter. Custom install. Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff. We have recovery, Windows RE tools, Windows partition 1, MSR reserved, and the system partition. We're not doing any recoveries. We don't need most of the rest of the stuff. We're not going backwards to the older operating systems, 8 or whatever came on this thing. We're moving it forward. And finally, our system partition can go by, highlight and right click and delete, or highlight and then go down to delete all your partitions till you have a completely unallocated space, unless you want to mess with the partitioning and leave on the system tools and other stuff and just put the basic recovery from Windows, recovery partition, your OS partition, and then your Windows Boot Manager partition, and leave the other stuff and hope it works. Generally, unless you put in the stock operating system back on, that's a no-go. No, not happening. And copying Windows files. see, is there a way to show this? I know it's not much, but yeah, it's not much, but it's there. It is what it is. I'm not dealing with the ProBook tonight. I'm going to clean up tools. Excuse me. And this gets booted through to a desktop. We are going. We're letting it boot and getting out of here. It's time to sleep. School comes early. So one failed, BIOS locked on the ProBook. Not a good thing. What do we have to do? An MBR install, and how quick? Let's try it. Let's try it. What else do we have to do, honestly? Not a lot. %on our Windows install, not bad. It's not an SSD. I think this is a perfect opportunity to say that do not go locking your BIOS with a password if you're not going to plan on remembering it even years later. Like, I don't know how people end up getting in there in the settings and locking it down at the BIOS level. Some computers you move a jumper around or pull one off a motherboard and you're back in, but other computers it's just, unless you remember that password, you're done until you remember it or trick the computer into booting up Windows, but you're still locked out of the BIOS. You're not going to change any settings. Potentially enabling disabled devices or disabling stuff that you don't want enabled for the system. HDMI, VGA to HDMI, we need you. Actually, I think this system should be set up with, I hope, CSM already. I really genuinely hope. 78%. instead of just standing around trying to use this time. Keyboard, mouse, speakers, display, and power. Power. What's BIOS? F2 on a Dell. Detect the keyboard. Alright, we have post. We should be going into setup. Got it. 83% on our all-in-one. Get into setup already. Quit messing with me. Set a 0 USB device. Drives. HCI Smart is on. Drives. Set a 0 2. Security. No. Performance. Oh, this is an older one, so this is gonna have to install with CSM. Alright, good enough. That's all I needed to know. Grab our other installer. Boot sequence, USB device above the hard drive. We're going to exit. F12 to boot to it. Redo our install on our hard drive for the ProBook as MBR CSM setup. CD-ROM drive, USB device. Get it. Alright, we're on installing updates. Do the finish up reboot. Hopefully that's it. We don't have any internet plugged in. We're going to bypass the initial setup. I hate doing the username and password login, or even a local account with the name, password for not an online, a local account, and you get set up security questions, because unless you know the person really well, you got to set up security questions you know. Or if you're working late at such an hour in the morning, you're not really calling people to find out who was the first person they kissed, or what high school, what school did their first school they went to, their first car, first manager, first job. And home. The restart is upon us. Restarting. Next. Alright, brain completely unallocated. Allocation achieved. They're not big words, they're stupid words to use in this scenario. But I think... Did I switch? I did. Okay, I think we got it. Device is ready, starting services. Now, one of the downsides to installing Windows on, another computer, which we have here, we have an Optiplex, and there's our USB drive somewhere there going crazy. I don't know if you can see the blue, probably not, but anyhow, yeah. It's not the best method, but you can, in some situations, fool a computer into booting that drive. In this situation with the locked firmware or BIOS firmware, UEFI firmware, I don't know. What else do we have here? 5 minutes. Let's save podcast and export, or shut it down. Start getting our stuff together to go. That's the current battery. Let's get out. Spare battery. Alright, we're up at 38% on our one install. Move that out of the way. And still getting ready on our all-in-one. It should be booting soon. Get us to that working, or to the initial setup. Get it to the working desktop and account it. I think we can activate if it doesn't do it automatically and all that in the morning. Or remotely, one of the two. Uh-oh, I got dinging. Ah, hey, hello. I didn't see your messages. When did you type that? Yeah, a little bit ago. Boo, boo, son. Boo, 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 easy Sultan? Hello. I didn't catch you there. I stopped watching the chat a little while ago. Unfortunately, there's nobody there now. I guess I could reply back. Will you reply? Certainly. Do it. Deleted. Yes. Can we recover files? You said flash drive or hard drive, Spencer? Oh. What's that? Alright, press this. Alright, our initial post, there's a 5-second delay, then the computer starts up. Good to go here. 83% on our install. Hopefully it didn't freeze. Any of that goofy business. Almost to a working desktop. We'll go full on level potato here, and we'll see. We'll see if our last ditch desperate attempt is gonna boot in the ProBook, installing on an old CSM or MBR an old legacy machine. Will it work? It is rebooting. This is what we wanted. We're going to click restart now. Let it restart. Pull the power. Get our drive back. We'll reassemble this thing first and get it out of the way. There's our hard drive.
Hi there. I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help.
Hello, you're rather annoying.
A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there, and we'll...
Thanks, Cortana. I appreciate it. My best friend in the whole world.
Voice mode. If you need an assistive screen reader, press the Windows, Control, and Enter keys at the same time to...
No, really, I mean that. My best friend ever, Cortana. Did saying your name re-enable you? Is that what it is? You're gonna stalk me and harass me this late? I didn't even get a midnight snack. I gotta deal with you. You are a crazy woman. Crazy AI personality. So, are we going tight or loose? Yes. Very well, very well. Very well. Power. Power. Let's put our drive back. Door it. Enter. Enter, skip, and do what you do. what you do, just don't do it around me. Crazy AI woman, no, we're not connecting to the internet. Get out of here. We don't have internet here. Are you kidding me? That stuff be expensive. Expensive. Name. Oh boy. Perhaps we can put a name. I have info. I just don't know where info be. Whoa, okay. Got that, we got you, you. Nobody knows. Alright, well, I know the one name. Let's do, I'm just going to make it simple, hit next, no password to get it to the desktop and be done with it. We'll connect it after we get in there. No activity history. I haven't used the setting personally, except our digital assistant to spy on us at every turn. We accept it a second time to say, look, we really want her to spy on us. That's our thing. We love voyeurism, especially when it's us being viewed. You know, why not? That's what you got to do to get on the line these days. Hello. How are you? HP 24G 122. Did I say that right? 122, not 112. It might take several minutes. This is where we're going to try some goofiness again. And much beyond this, we are going to see if the gentleman knows the BIOS password to unlock it. Because without that, it's just going to be a headache for people. I mean, I suppose we could run down the route of looking for a way to clear that password. You know, I suppose. I don't really like that. Some you can, some you cannot. Ding. We got a desktop. We are indeed. Indeed, we are. Alright, we still have. We do. The verdict says, have we failed? Should we give up on life? Rope is on sale, my friends. Don't go out like that. Keep trying and trying again. At least it sees a hard drive now. It didn't see when we installed it UEFI or non-MBR, non-CSM. So we got the initial setup done. Now, on a usability scale, I would rate this computer. Say all the hardware is good, I would rate it about an 80 to 85, maybe 90%, because you are. Even if you get Windows in and working, if you're a person that wants access to all of the computer you own, you cannot change the BIOS settings. That's horrible, horrible. So we're going to get Windows 10 on this updated current version activated. The Windows 7 product key activated as a digital license. Get everything good. Supplementary programs, I like to call them. 7-zip, your browsers, Chrome, Opera, Firefox if you use that. Edge, there's a new Edge built on Chromium, I believe, like Chrome is, or whatever. And you can install Chrome extensions from the web store on the new Microsoft Edge. But yeah, get that stuff installed. Codecs from either VLC or the K-Lite Mega Codec Pack with Media Player Classic. Those few minor things installed. Some type of Office suite. Don't worry about PDF creators unless you need features that don't come with opening it in Chrome or Edge. But yeah, so far so good. Our ProBook is booting. I can't say that it is charging our battery. Our battery light is blinking, says the battery's probably deader than dead, which means it's got to stay plugged in. If you can get a battery for these, there's a route to go down. Replacing the battery. Maybe it will charge after time, but I doubt it. We kind of have a blinking light. As long as no more messages popped up, I didn't want to miss anything else. Let's check out our computer. We're going to go ahead and pop on into the settings and see if Windows happen to activate. Go down to the About. We did not type a product key in, and it automatically picked Windows 10 Home. 1909 installed on 225/2020. Let's build blah 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 blah. I want a control panel. Forget those goofy Windows settings. Small icons. Give me system. So we do have to connect to the internet to activate Windows. It more than likely grab our product key. Do we have Wi-Fi? We do. We're gonna go wired for now. Alright. Get our pop-up. Let's finish setting up. Yes. For the network discovery, hit OK, go back. And we're going to still continue with offline. We don't have the account info at hand, like ready to go, but I'm going to skip for now. We'll continue it later. We want to activate Windows. Hold on a minute now. Windows is activated with a digital license. Good. Back out in our system, in our control panel, it does say Windows is activated, so that's all good. First things first, control panel, adjust from category view to small icons. Go to system in the small icons, then system protection on the left hand side, C, and then configure your system protection. Turn on system protection and create a restore point. And what is the date? This is the 24th? 25th. Alright, before anything else was done, check out your device manager. Windows 10 is pretty good about devices, but some stuff will show up generic PCI encryption decryption controller, so we're going to need something to deal with the chipset or potentially a different device. Our display adapter is a Microsoft basic display adapter, so we will get drivers for this tomorrow. It's late, can't go with it tonight. For right now, we're going to keep working on the all-in-one while we're waiting on this guy here to boot. It is getting ready. So oh, what was that? Stabbing me in the thumb. Like metal or a shard of glass from a broken touchscreen. Alright, we got some type of driver, either a chipset or a display adapter. We're going to check our device manager to see. Our screen flashed, so something came through. Yep, the Intel HD graphics for, so I don't know which ones they are. It's an Intel Pentium J3710 at one, so it's Pentium. What is that? Does it have hyper-threading? Because it's a Pentium that shows 4 cores, so it's either a dual core with hyper-threading, 2 cores, 2 threads, or maybe a quad core with no hyper-threading. I don't know. It's a fairly recent Pentium at that. I'm not familiar with the Celeron and Pentium lines. We still do have a few drivers though to get. As you can see, well, you probably can't see, but we have moved on from getting devices ready to just, it's rebooted just a moment. We're working our way to the initial setup where we can do just a basic setup. We're going to do a generic name of owner, no password to get through to the desktop, activate Windows, set the restore point, and then shut it down for the night. Shut this one down and clear out. That's the plan. Let's see if that takes a half hour, an hour, who knows how long. There's one benefit to using that shotgun mic I just tapped. Sorry. It doesn't run out of battery power. That's good stuff. Very good. Ugh, soda, man. I don't know how good an idea that is this hour. Yeah, no brightness controls yet. This any older computer, even really old ones that you think, like this would definitely benefit from an SSD. Cheap upgrade, you know, $20, get a 200, or $25, 30, whatever, get a 240 gig, slap in it. if you're gonna have to store a lot of stuff, keep it on an external. But yeah, cheap SSD, put it in there, will really boost performance of your older laptop. I don't know, I never fell into the 14-inch size. I'm not an office type or businessy person, so. But I understand the allure and the attraction to the smaller form factor. I do have this 13-inch, which coincidentally is just about as big as that 14-inch. Yeah, it is what it is. The 15 inches are way too big of those. Never liked them. Where are you at? Hurry up, get to a desktop. Just a moment. We've been hearing that for more than a moment. Okay. All of our base programs, zip browser. A few other things have installed. Let's check the HP website. It's an HP 24G122 drivers. And we'll actually install the HP Auto Detect.
Hi there, I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help. A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi.
Good to meet you, my friend. However, your services are not of use right now. Get the rest of it done so we can move on from this impasse in our lives, or what life you have. And bothering me multiple times daily, it seems. I appreciate it. Checking back often. Says a lot about your character, but I don't need the help. Windows 10 64-bit. Okay, let's go for, oh my. You know what, let's do software and drivers. We're just going to click. We know what the computer is. We can get to it on the all-in-one just by typing it in. But we're going to actually try and let HP identify this thing. Let HP detect your product. We have a small program to install. Sadly enough, we don't have internet on this computer either. We're going to continue with limited. Choose. Next. Run that download. Generic owner. No password. Get me to a working functional desktop so I can activate blasted Windows already. Accept. I love you spying on me. Next, where are you? Did you run? Accept cookies? Yes. HP Web Products Detection Tool has not been installed yet. We do not want the HP Support Assistant, just the product detection tool. And hopefully it doesn't pull up all drivers for the other one. Hopefully it pulls up whichever ones we don't have, but I forget how this works. It's been a while. Hey, this might take several minutes, okay? Just be patient. Patience. Patience, I tell you. Okay. HP Web Products Detection Tool. I'll hit next. Okay, go for it. Detect away. Come on. Detected HP. We're almost there. Display driver searching. Yeah, we don't have our hotkeys. We'll get that. What are you? You keep stabbing me. Dude. Get out of here. Oh my. Is there a problem with this battery? Is there a problem with the battery? You've got, I don't even know if we can show this. I'm gonna try. I'm really gonna try. Look at this pop-up. 255% available. Plugged in. That's 255. I'm gonna say that battery is still over here blinking on the edge and not gonna do nothing. Sorry, error has occurred. System is timed out. Let's retry it. It's fully installed now, so hopefully it'll pick it up. And hit OK. Go for it again. Full screen you. Give you more luck in full screen mode, I suppose. Does have a dual band card in. It sees our 2.4 and 5 gigahertz for the Wi-Fi, so that's good news, I suppose. We have connected. You want to finish setup. HP all-in-one 24G122. It got our serial number and our whatever the other one is. It's compiling my results for drivers. Undoubtedly it's going to pull up all of them, which is just a nuisance. I already had this. I just wanted to make sure it was right. Searching for a display driver. Very good. Control panel. Small icon system. Let's activate Windows. For this, we're going to need to dig deep, pop out our battery, get to our product key, which is under the battery. Suppose we go to change product key. There we go. All right. Got our display driver. Alright, and let's find out if our product key will activate digitally or has a digital license. Yeah, it did. The all-in-one pulled up just all the drivers. So, device manager, what did it find by just being online? Did it get them? Oh, okay. So we have a pro product key we installed at home. I didn't take note of that beforehand, so we're gonna upgrade the addition of Windows from 10 Home to 10 Pro. Sounds good. Set you out of the way. It did get some of the missing drivers, so we'll leave this up for morning. Windows did activate because it's doing the Pro upgrade. Restore point, we'll do that tomorrow. Synaptics PS2 touchpad, nah. We'll restart it later. We're doing an upgrade now if you can't tell. Home not activated until the upgrade finishes. Good enough. January 8th, 2020, a new BIOS came out for the all-in-one. We're gonna download it now. I feel like I'm regretting doing this BIOS upgrade on the all-in-one because when it fails and bricks it, it's just, yeah. Hasta la taco, done. You know? Or hasta la e-waste. One of the above, take your pick. Oh, it made the mouse goofy so you can't. You don't have any control. It must be trying to do its thing. And there it goes. Update the BIOS on this device requires a restart. Next. Alright, my friends, I think I'm going to call it there. BIOS update is underway. Windows version upgrade underway. 10 Home to 10 Pro. 100% complete. Let's do the restart. It comes up. If it's activated in System, we're good to go. Restart now for a BIOS update. Updates piping through on the HP ProBook 4430S, so this gentleman here should be happy about this laptop. It's not new by any means, but it's a very competent computer. You've got a 2nd gen Intel Core i5, I think 2510M. It should read either 8 or 16 gigs of DDR3. So the BIOS update failed. It didn't try to flash it, but I'm okay with that. We'll figure that out later. As long as it boots back into Windows, which it is. Alright. As soon as you both do desktop, we're out. We're getting the coat on now. Battery replacement, I'm going to say, because this 255% battery is still flashing. I don't expect it to work for quite some time, if ever. Perhaps we could pull the battery, poke some holes in each end, get our probes in for our multimeter, but hook the other end of the probes to the power supply and send some current into it to revive it past that. Most batteries have like a cutoff voltage. If they drop below that voltage, it'll refuse to charge. Some, not all, some laptop batteries are, you can revive that way by getting them above that minimum voltage charge. So we can try that, and yeah, we'll see. See, that's another stream, another video, another time. Anyhow, long, drawn out, thank you for hanging out, checking us out. Booezy Sultan, whoever you are, sorry that I didn't notice your comment right away. My friend, stop back for another stream. I don't have volume or headphones on when I do these streams, so it's just if I look at the chat. After a few hours, I kind of drift away from the chat, so I'm very sorry about missing your comment. Yeah, stop back, hang out. If you have questions, contact any of the means and this is for anybody, contact by any of the means listed, any of the links listed in any of the descriptions of the videos. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Chat's a new thing. I never really had it up, but I've started recently, so yeah. If this is your thing, you get into this fixing, doing, getting it working, you're the guy that people talk to. Give somebody a hand, get it out there, show somebody how to do it. Try and get them involved too. This stuff isn't going anywhere. Computers are growing. Technology in general as a whole is just getting more and more complicated. So we need more and more people knowing what to do with it. I feel anyways. I don't think it's going away unless we like EMP the world, knock out all our tech, and then gotta start over like that joke from the one comedian, you know, if I give you a hatchet and put you in the woods, how long till you can send me an email? That's, yeah. Hopefully we never go down that road. That is not a venture that I want to take part of. I love this technology. You know, I fix it daily. So if this is your thing, you like it, you dig it, give somebody a hand that needs something fixed. Show them how to fix that. Recap. HP 24G122 all-in-one computer, Windows 10, HP ProBook 4430S, very capable of running Windows 10 version 1909. That is what we installed on both computers. Very capable all the way around. Thank you for hanging out and joining me. This computer is about to boot. When it does, I told you we're done with this. Share this video if you like the video. Give it a like, think about subscribing, come back, hanging out again, share it, get it out there so hopefully somebody can see it. Maybe somebody has questions. Will my ProBook 4430S run Windows, and they want more than a post on a forum. They want to see video. Or Perhaps they inherited one of these with a locked BIOS and are not sure how to get Windows on it. There's an answer in this video, even though it's long, convoluted, and drawn out. The answer is here. If you want to know how to open an HP 24 G122 all-in-one, you have that as well. Thank you for watching. Whatever time you got here, have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and I will see you later today. I will be back again. We're going to end it here. Thank you. Each and every person who's ever checked it out, thank you. It's time to go home. Where are the keys? Let me out. Alright, I fixed it. Open the door. Let me out.